We're now drifting east towards Greenland on a massive piece of ice. We can't get off. The whiteout lasted 3 weeks. Charlie fell through the ice twice, I fell through the ice. We knew we didn't have enough food. Worst day, 10 hours work, but only gained 200 metres. We lost 3.5 stone each. He fell through the ice again. Unbelievable. I spent 5 years planning a project to lead the first British team unassisted the wrong way in the dark at -50 on a frozen ocean to the North Pole. Basically, everyone thinks the North Pole and the ice is flat. It's an ocean, it moves. The lunar cycle, the tide, the wind open up the ocean. So one thing I was very aware of was that on the bad days, how do you keep the team motivated? So you imagine, I've got the team in there, they've done 10 hours work, we've gained 200 metres and I get the map out, there it is. And they're like, oh, we've gone 1 millimetre. They'll be thinking, crikey, 2 or 3 more days of this, we've got no chance. And once they believe they've got no chance, that's when things start to go wrong. So what we did is we folded the map away. And when we got in the tent at night, all you saw was that stage, because it's frightening. The goal is 2 months away, top of the world, 500 miles away. If that's what you've got to look at every single night, you must be thinking, we're never going to get there. So to stop some of the fear, we kept the map folded away and we just burnt it as we went along. I've learnt so much through the experiences of not just the Marines, but also on the expeditions, managing other people, that you can then transfer this knowledge over. Spoken around the world, all the big business schools over in America, in the UK, hundreds of different corporate organisations, whether it be from very intimate small groups, board groups at a board level, or up to 1,000 CEOs over in New York. Once you understand what the issues are within the company, you can then relate that to the experiences we had on the ice. And as long as you can transfer the messages over, then it's relevant. One thing that we did, which no one else had done in as much detail, was we questioned the whole way that you travel on the Arctic Ocean. Most projects, if you go back 25 years, they would just take the same kit list as the person the year before. We redesigned the whole front of the sledge, and it weighed 9 pounds, not 50. So with one piece of equipment, as a group, we're 41 pounds lighter. And all that does is breeds confidence in the rest of the team, because they're thinking that's 41 pounds, we don't have to drag 580 miles to the North Pole. So all of a sudden, mentally, we're thinking, right, let's question everything else that's been done. Day 70. Last night in the tent, thank God. No food left, no drinks left, just on drinking water at the moment. Got a tub of water left for tonight to get some fluid into us. We've still got 9 miles left to the pole. It'll take us about 7 hours in the condition we're in. We'll probably get 4 hours sleep tonight. Get up. Crack on in the morning, first thing, 7 hours to get there. We're exhausted, completely exhausted. Well, this is a typical picture of how we would walk. Now, all the trips I've done, whether before this one especially, and since this trip, I've found that you're constantly learning. You're constantly learning about yourself, about managing people, about looking after your team, and also about how to manage adversity and problems. Now, one thing I knew, there was no way I could deliver this project if it was Alan's leading the group from the front and the rest of the guys are just there to make up the numbers. So I had to somehow keep them engaged. And the way I managed to do it was to lead from the back of the group. A lot of people think, a leader should be at the front, every hour, 24 hours a day, making the decision, blazing the trail. One, I'd be burnt out in about a week doing that, mentally and physically as well. And two, the rest of the group won't be engaged in the project. So I had more control leading from the back.
I've seen Alan before and I think Alan is absolutely fantastic. He's one of the most down-to-earth individuals to deal with, so he always finds a way to engage with everybody, and he has such a wonderful story to tell, and he can come at it from a number of angles, so from the leadership angle, from the people perspective, from the planning and project management perspective, and from the emotional intelligence piece as well. It's really all covered there.
So it was an incredible trip. And I'm still doing this. I've gone back to the North Pole 6 times. I've taken business leaders, men, women, from different countries, different nationalities, different religions, and trained them for a year with one common goal, to get to the top of the world. And that's quite an interesting exercise, really, a leadership exercise, bringing in a new team or creating a new team from different backgrounds and then eventually a year later we stand on the top of planet Earth.